Good evening, everyone, this evening. So, before we start our discussion, just ask you, how was your weekend so far?
Okay, so my weekend was actually pretty good, I would say. Thank you for asking, Mr. Merida. How about you, Mr. Alegria?
Well, on my side, I'm also doing good. Balancing my life, my academics. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Alegria. So, without further ado, let's start our discussion.
Let's go.
So, what is fake news? Any thoughts about fake news, guys? Or you may answer based on your experience about fake news.
So, I think fake news is a very significant issue that needs to be addressed, especially in our generation right now, wherein a lot of people are using social media, and fake news rapidly rapidly spreads. It rapidly spreads because, like what I've said, a lot of people are using social media, and most um, most fake news usually spreads in what I based on what I observe. Fake news usually spread during campaigns, political campaigns, or during like election period.
Fake news for me is that it is simply just an information that can be driven by somehow intentions. Also, it is just an information that can be used improperly, I guess. This is for me.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good answer as well. So, based on my research, fake news are stories that are created by individuals or groups that do not adhere to the fact-checking standards of credible news organizations. It often lacks verifiable facts, sources, or quotes. The bottom line there was that fake news lacks verifiable facts, sources, or quotes. So it doesn't have evidences that back up its claims. So there are many forms of fake news, by the way, but I just listed three of them, the most common ones. So we have here misinformation, disinformation, and lastly, the clickbait headlines. Misinformation is defined as an umbrella term to describe false, misleading, or out of context material regardless of the motivation behind it. It can also be described as bad information. While disinformation is a deliberate attempt to mislead using material that the deceiver knows is untrue. It is designed to be widely shared. The purpose is often to persuade people to think a certain way, to vote a certain way, or to make money from advertising each time someone clicks on a story. While the clickbait is defined as a sensationalized designed to attract attention and drive traffic, often misleading about the actual content. So, to differentiate these three, let's have an example of each. Let's start with the misinformation. Example number 1. A social media post claims that drinking lemon water can cure cancer. While lemon water might have some health benefits, it is not a cure for cancer. This information is shared without malicious intent, but it is inaccurate and potentially harmful. So that is a good example of misinformation. Let's move on to disinformation. A political campaign spreads false information about their opponent's policies to sway voters. This information is deliberately fabricated to damage the opponent's reputation and influence the election's outcome. There you differentiate the difference between misinformation and disinformation. So misinformation is the spreading of fake news unintentionally, while disinformation is the spreading of fake news intentionally. Now, let's have the example of clickbait. Clickbait is, we can usually notice this in YouTube. Are you familiar with that platform?
Yes.
So, sometimes na-get like, ganito pala ang ugali ni like mga anak ba. So by doing that, they're clickbaiting their audiences so that they can drive their attention. Now, I want you to do what I did, to differentiate misinformation, disinformation, and clickbait.
Differentiate these three types of fake news. Well, I see the first I think it's the misinformation. I see misinformation as false information that people share without meaning to harm anyone. Based on your examples lately, also disinformation is when someone spreads false info or purpose to trick people intentionally. And the last one is the clickbait. Well, headlines are those catchy titles that grab everybody's attention but really don't match the story in the real world. They all can confuse us and make it hard to trust. So it's very crucial to check the sources and make things to do just to confirm if the news was fake or real.
We actually have the same idea, like we have the same idea, Mr. Alegria. Actually, that's also how I differentiate the three, which is the misinformation, disinformation, and clickbaiting. And also, like what Mr. Alegria said, it is very crucial for us to fact check if what we are reading is actually true or not, especially like what we have mentioned earlier, that fake news easily or rapidly spreads. So it is very important for us to check if the information is true or not.
So you did a great job in differentiating those three. Now let's proceed to the role of technology, algorithms, and social media in the spreading of fake news. The role of technology. The advancement in AI that accelerate personalization combined to create vulnerability in the form of online misinformation. AI can now create credible information at scale, overcoming the limitations of human capacity to produce misinformation. While social media platforms have become the primary source of news for many individuals, the ease of sharing and the network effect of social media allow fake news to spread rapidly, reaching a vast audience within a short period of time. This can create echo chambers where users are exposed only to information that confirms their existing beliefs, making them more susceptible to misinformation. And as we have the role of algorithms. Social media platforms rely heavily on algorithms to personalize content and optimize user engagement. These algorithms often prioritize content that generates the most clicks, shares, and reactions, regardless of its accuracy. This creates a feedback loop where sensational or emotionally charged content, including fake news, is amplified and spreads more widely. Algorithms can create filter bubbles where users are presented with content that aligns with their existing interests and beliefs. This can lead to a lack of exposure to diverse perspectives and a greater likelihood of accepting misinformation as
Algorithm is is that kung ano ka siya ba, like ang system gina-promote niya
Yes, murag mag-generate siya.
ang info or content, no?
Murag isa po na sa reasons nga ano natin ginatawag nga viral, I think. Kay when a lot of people is searching for it manggod is usually is murag ang engagement niya is mudaghan ing ana. That's why
Wala
dali
mo
siya
system,
mag-spread.
no?
exactly. So nasabta na ang kuan.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about technology? Maybe you have you got some idea about the role of technology. Maybe you can
Specifically these technologies or advancements just make our lives flow smoothly. That's just for me.
Well, for me, I think technology, especially nowadays, is the easiest or most accessible medium for the spreading of fake news.
that we have to to combat fake news. First is develop critical thinking skills. Question everything except information just because it's online or shared by someone you know. So I think we're all familiar with critical thinking since we're Kwanman. We're Bael.
What?
Corroboration means kaning corroboration bitaw so kwan for me to verify it means proving something with another source or another what do you call this, with another reliable source. So yeah. The third and the last one on our list is reduce the spread of fake news. Think before you share. Think before you share information online. Take a minute to consider its source and accuracy. If you're unsure, don't share it. So, yeah, we have to start it in ourselves in order to to combat fake news. Of course, we have to know what we are sharing online and so that we dili ta madugang-dugang bitaw sa pag-spread. Anyway, let's move on na sa atong activity karon nga gabi una. So I think this is second to the last na activity natong button karon, which is fact-checking exercise.
Okay.
So what we do is to identify whether the given information comes from a reliable or unreliable source. So the context is katobitong sa konato, which is about scholarships. Let's start. Let's go. Tingnan lang niyo kung reliable or not ha.
Okay.
Wait lang.
I didn't. For me, didn't.
I don't
if-
think so. Also, I don't think so.
Kaya if ang land bank ay if kung siya ka ng legit, ang page nila mismo ang mag-post ata ang land bank
Yeah.
na siya ano no, so dili mo siya land bank, so kumbaga dump account lang, so fake siguro for me.
Oh, except sa dili siya verified, tas Facebook pag ang gigamit. Right?
Yes.
Next.
Aman. Asa man? Ganda.
Dili gid ka madugay ba?
GMA. Unsa ni siya, like GMA gini nga ano?
Yes, I think that's a reliable source. Since so website GMA posted it.
Same answer.
How about ikaw, Jed? Sa mong ingnon.
Same answer.
Okay.
Since it's
Next.
from
That's fake.
No.
Yeah. That's absolutely fake.
wala siya nag-ano. Kuha siya sa
And
groups.
Not
It's not reliable.
yeah.
how about this? How about that?
Legit.
Yeah, that's a legitimate source, I think, since the ABS-CBN News website posted the article.
So the point of me showing you those pictures is to know kung unsa yung tuuhan na mga source. Like if you're going to if you're looking for a reliable source of information, always katubit ang giingon ni Sir Flores also sa mga kuan ba, like sa mga mainstream media, although they were painted badly because of politics, murag at the end of the day they are they're not labeled as mainstream for nothing.
Okay.
It applies to gyapon mga articles na so ang Unifast is nag-raise na og awareness about this issue. Plus ang ilang gingon is i-remind nila ng public na we should be aware of this clickbait scam bitong nga kakita sa Facebook katong kanilang about sa mga fake scholarship. These are the example of fake scholarship bitaw.